Hi, you guys. Mr. Farron here. Um, just wanted to say hi, and we're kind of at the part now where we're studying trash and garbage and stuff. And so that's kind of fun. And so I guess you remember, those who weren't there, I'm going to recap what we learned. We went deep into the miniature, tiny, bizarro world, down even past molecules and past atoms, and down to the things that make up atoms, nuclei and protons, and top quarks and strange quarks. And then we went back bigger and bigger. Remember, we saw that there was a Japanese spider crab that's 10 feet or more wide with its long legs, and I guess fishermen eat them, and we eat them, I guess, if we see them. I don't know if I want a 10-foot crab out there when I'm scuba diving with me, but there you go. And we went bigger, and then we saw other things. But why did we do this? We showed a big dry ice bubble, and we made a big bubble, and it kept bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, and then it exploded. Why? Because this tiny miniature world that includes E. coli, little tiny animals, little tiny alive things and cells and things that are so small we can't see them. These bacteria and things work on, and we got to travel through time. Remember, we got to see fruit rot and decompose. In just a couple of minutes, we saw 74 days worth of decomposition, and it's the miniature world that's making that happen. And then we also saw, I should show you a picture of those little tiny fruit flies that came along. And of course, the ever popular, which I've shown for 2 weeks now, a garbage truck chewing up in the back a couch, and how garbage trucks work. Well, this is important stuff. If for some reason, and there have been garbage man strikes in cities, if for some reason the garbage doesn't get picked up, my goodness, we would be swimming in an ocean of garbage in our cities. It's very important stuff. And we talked about, and maybe I'll try to find a way to show us about this, but I don't think there is any video, that I have a friend in central Utah, where they take the stuff that pigs poop, pig waste, the stuff they poop out, they take that and they run it and get the methane gas, like in a dump, and they use it to run a power plant here in Utah. And they make money from selling power back to the power grid out of pig poop, basically. And so, don't know if you knew that was happening. Well, this can also be done with dumps. You take the methane gas that comes out of a dump that's caused by the decomposition, and methane gas is as good as any gas. It burns, and you can make electricity out of it. All right, now we're going to be turning towards towards recycling. So when you take and eat this wonderful can of, in this case, savory chicken with wild and white rice, then you got a can left over. And what are you going to do with that can? Are you going to throw it away, or are you going to recycle it? Well, you could recycle it. Now, when we recycle it, this stuff, we're going to show ourselves, so people take it off of a line. It gives people jobs and stuff. And they take care of stuff that can't be done automatically. But a lot of stuff just goes on a conveyor belt and goes on up, and then big giant magnets pull them off. So let me just show you about magnets, because there's something interesting we'll maybe see next time. This is an old antique. It's not. I had to bring it as an object of mystery, but today I'll tell you, it's a bit for a horse made out of what we call sweet bit, made out of old iron. And can you see this? I got to make this work here. This is a magnet. And okay, so I could take a magnet on a conveyor belt, and all the things that are made out of steel or iron, including cans like this, see the magnet holds on there? I could get a bigger and stronger magnet, and it would pull that stuff off, while the paper on the conveyor belt and the other things that come out of our recycling bins would just keep going to another place that just takes that. And we'll show you that. It's kind of neat. But some things, so this is one of my cool spurs that's handmade, and it's made out of steel and iron too. And so you see it works with that. But then I like to drink V8 juice because it's good for you. Okay, this is not a commercial, but all the soda pop cans are not made out of steel. They're made out of aluminum. Look, it won't stay. It won't. So how do you get that to automatically come off of a conveyor belt? Did you know that there's a way that this stuff comes off conveyor belts in recycling places. And we're going to learn that next time. It's not exactly magnetism because it's not magnetic, but they have a way to make this really giant electric field that makes these jump off the conveyor belt. We can't do it because it takes too much high power and we shouldn't be around it, so I can't show it to you except by video next time. So here's your assignment, everyone. Keep writing in your notebooks and thinking about big questions, and the next thing we're going to study after this, it'll depend on what you say is interesting. Okay? And think if you want to do a mini great brain where you just want to teach you something you've been learning. So keep learning and asking questions. So in one side of your book, you're going to write down your important questions. And I'm going to look at these again. Probably next week I ought to take them again. And then you're going to use the other side to just teach and learn anything you've learned about dumps and garbage and decomposition and rotting and these little bitty things that help us. Do you know that right now one of the ways, the same place that does the pig poop into electricity, they know some people that are just using regular old algae. Algae are things that are on the sort of, they look like scum that float on the top of ponds and stuff that's green and stuff. And they're not even genetically altered algae. They're just regular algae. And they use the algae because they put off the stuff. And they can just skim the algae off, and they can use that to make power. And they're doing that in some places. So there are ways we can be gentler on our earth. Anyway, have fun. Think deep thoughts. Remember, this is not just a hat rack, my friends. This is a brain inside of here. It's not just for holding up our hats. We got to be thinking. You guys are great. Keep thinking big thoughts, and we'll see you next week. Take care. And I'm going to take your notebooks. So give me some cool questions, some cool things you've learned in your notebooks, because I want to look at them. Take care. Have fun.